Barista FIRE is a very unique thing that many people should be taking advantage of or should be on the path towards achieving. And that's why I created this list today. Some great Barista FIRE jobs that you could possibly be taking advantage of. Make sure that you stay till number 7, till the very last one, because that is one that I think that almost everyone should be doing regardless, especially if you want to become financially independent in any way, shape, or form. The very first one I have for you today on this list is pretty cool. It is a substitute teacher. So a substitute teacher is a really very flexible job that you could do in order to become Barista FIRE. And the reason is that you can just work, on a substitute basis. You can almost work whenever you want, depending on what school system, how your school system operates. You can pretty much choose whenever you want to work. And so whenever you want to make a little bit of extra money, to supplement your investments, you can choose to go and take a job for a day and make a little bit of money. Now this is really cool because there are school systems in pretty much everywhere, in the United States. You're going to find a school system. So that means that this job is readily available and it's very generally applicable. Usually all you really have to do is, pass a background test and have any kind of degree. Maybe you can take a test, get certified for that, and it's generally pretty easy to do, and you can become a substitute teacher. The BLS or the the BLS, or the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they put the median income for substitute teachers at $14.12 per hour. Nothing too crazy, not really crazy high paying, but again, it is extremely flexible. You can do it pretty much anywhere, and it's very easy to get into. And so I think that substitute teaching is not too bad as far as Barista FIRE is concerned. And then we have number 2 on this list, and number 2 is a very broad term, but that is consulting. Consulting can be a great way to become Barista FIRE, especially if you can actually arrange a way to where you actually work at the place where you used to work, but on a consulting basis, where you become a 1099 contractor instead of an employee, and you can kind of do some kind of consulting or in that related field. If you're pretty much like an expert in some kind of field, you can always do consulting in that field. It's always going to be in demand. You can consult individuals, you can consult small businesses, and you can even consult large businesses. So there are many different kinds of forms that consulting can take, and it can be done in almost any field. So no matter what, consider consulting as a possible career path if you're trying to achieve Barista FIRE. Next up at number 3, we go back to the education sector, but this time it's going to get a little bit more crazy. So number 3 is to become a college professor. Yeah, college professors, it's actually a pretty good gig, especially for Barista FIRE. So they have this term known as, I think it's adjunct professor, or basically a part-time professor or something like that. They have kinds of jobs where you can become a professor, you don't actually work full-time, and you can make some pretty good income depending on, what part of the country you're in, what school you're working at and things like that. Especially because when it comes to being a college professor, sometimes you can actually get where you only work online. You only work, via Zoom. And this was before, before it became a lot more popular. Before that, there was already online colleges, online professors teaching courses online, completely online. And so there are many opportunities that make this great for Barista FIRE. You can teach in person, you can teach online, and you can do it on a part-time basis. So the BLS, they put the median income for professors at around $80,000 per year. Now that might be full-time, but it is a pretty good paying job. Even just imagine that at half-time, making $40,000 per year Barista FIRE. Many people can live off of $40,000 per year, working part-time as a college professor. So it is a great opportunity for Barista FIRE. Next up at number 4, we go to a seasonal job, and I really like the idea of working seasonally when you're trying to become Barista FIRE. And that's where you only work, one part of the season out of the entire year, and then the rest of the year you're just living that financial independence lifestyle. In this case, the example that I want to use is a seasonal tax preparer or a seasonal tax accountant, something to do with taxes. And that's because the tax season, that is usually the first part of the year, usually from January until April, usually April 15th. And so it's about 4 months that we have that tax season, that tax filing season. And what makes tax preparation or tax accounting really great is that you can actually use it to start your own business. You can do it to where you are actually directly dealing with clients, your own clients. And another great thing about that is that usually, if you're good at it, then you're going to be getting reoccurring clients, so that every single year they're going to keep coming back to you. If you file their taxes good, you get them a good refund, you get their taxes all situated, then they're probably going to keep coming back to you, and that's reoccurring income for you. And that's 4 months out of the year that you're working on that's not bad. But still, even if you don't want to do it as your own business, you can still, there are many different tax agencies that you can work for in tax preparation and tax accounting. And so it's a really great opportunity for Barista FIRE. The BLS puts the median income for tax preparers at $21.30 per hour. So that's not too bad, especially because if you're working full-time during those 4 months, the rest of the year, you'll probably have enough money for the rest of the year if you're Barista FIRE. Now, number 5 is not a very specific job title, but it is a really general category. But before I move on to that, if you're liking this video so far, please make sure that you like the video. It really does help me out, and I really do appreciate that. It lets the YouTube algorithm know that you like this video and you want to spread it to other people, which other people probably need to know this video. So please make sure that you hit that like button. Thank you. Now, number 5, it is not a specific title, like I said. It is more of a category, and that category is online project-based jobs. Okay, so hear me out here. So anything that you can do pretty much always online, you're going to be doing the job completely online. And mostly the kind of job title that's going to be, what the job is going to consist of is projects. So for example, I have a little list here, video editing. That's project-based. Usually you're editing one kind of video. It's per project. That's the way that you are paid. Another one could be writing. Another one is social media, if you're managing social media accounts. Another one could be website building. And then another one that I actually going to use for this example is graphic design. So these jobs are mostly going to be based on projects. You're going to be working on a certain project and you're going to get paid for that project. Now the beauty of that is that, again, you could be considered self-employed. You could be a 1099 contractor. You could be contracted out to do a certain project. You get paid for that project, and then that's it. And then you go look for another contract or something like that. And that could be a really great way to become, Barista FIRE. But even still, you can also do these as an employee. If you're a social media manager, you can do that, from your home in your pajamas. So it's really great opportunity, these kind of online-based jobs, or a project-based job. Now for my example, I'm going to use graphic design, and BLS puts that median income at $25.66 per hour. Now I put graphic design because my wife actually went to school for graphic design, so it hits really close to home. But moving on to number 6. Number 6 is another one that is going to be everywhere, and that is a real estate agent. And the reason it's going to be everywhere is because there are houses everywhere. No matter where you go, people are going to have to live in a house. And so a real estate agent could be a pretty good job for Barista FIRE. A really big reason on why that is that real estate agents are typically going to be commission based, and they're not going to be receiving a W-2. They're not going to be getting a salary. They're going to be getting paid based on how many sales they make. And so the incentive for you there is that if you make a sale, you get paid. You don't make a sale, you don't get paid. And you have a lot more control over your schedule and how you work with your clients as a real estate agent. And that independent contractor status is a really important theme here, if you've noticed so far, for Barista FIRE, because that allows you a lot more autonomy over your time, even though you are still working for a little bit of money. The BLS puts the median income per year for real estate agents at $51,220 per year. So it's not too bad. And of course that's going to vary depending on what market you're in. If you're in a really high cost of living area and you're selling real estate in there, your commissions are going to be really big, and real estate can probably be turning over a lot because there's a lot more people. Whereas if you're in a smaller town, a smaller city, you might have less transactions and you might have less value in those properties, so your commission is going to be a little bit less. And so that's going to obviously depend on where you live, but also that autonomy over your time, and that relatively easy to get into that job. It's relatively easy to get the license, and so I think this can be a great opportunity for Barista FIRE. Next up, we have number 7, the one that I promised you in the beginning, because this is something that no matter what, it's already kind of been alluded to. No matter what, I think that everyone on the path to financial independence, whether you're in the path to Barista FIRE, whether you're just going for regular FIRE, fat FIRE, no matter what you're trying to do, if you're trying to achieve financial independence, I think that everyone should become a small business owner in some capacity. And so number 7 is to become a small business owner. And what that means, it doesn't have to be something crazy. I'm not saying you need to go and open up your own manufacturing plant. What I mean there is that you should actually be in business. You should be filling out a Schedule C every year for some odd reason, whether that be for contracting, something kind of project, whether that be for tax preparation, whether that be for consulting. No matter what, you should be in some shape or form a business. You should have a business. Now, whether that business be physical or online, whether it be based on services, whether it be based on products, it really doesn't matter. But in some way, everyone, I think, especially on the path to financial independence, should have their own business because it opens up so much flexibility. It opens up so much opportunity. It opens up so much income. It gives you a purpose. There are so many great reasons to have your own business in some small way. And not even to mention the great, amazing tax benefits that come from, being self-employed or having a small business. But speaking of that, if you're ready to get started on your path to financial independence and you haven't watched this video already that I created, it's a full guide to getting started on the path to financial independence. Make sure that you watch that video. And thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Zach from OnCashflow.com, and I hope to see you next time.